Hey everyone, it's Alan with 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏. Welcome back to another new video. In today's video, I'm going to talk with you about my secrets for making strong and good burning woodwick candles. This is a highly requested topic. Now, as you can see here, I'm actually taking coconut oil. This is the one with a 76-degree melt point that I actually get from Soper's Choice. And this is part of a custom wax blend that I formulated specifically for woodwick candles in the Candle Science Astro jar. Now, I'm going to be blending that with some 464 soy as well as some beeswax. All three of these waxes work synergistically in the blend that I use so that these candles will burn as cleanly as possible. And believe it or not, these small jars will burn for almost 50 hours. You heard that right. They don't even hold 9 ounces of wax. Now, when I am placing these wicks, what I like to do is make a template. So I'm taking the wick and I'm cutting it just to about the top of the vessel. And you saw there, I cut it at an angle. It's gonna make it a little bit easier to burn with these thick wood wicks. Now, if you are looking for my exact formula for all these candles, including the exact wicks that I'm using, the custom wax blend that I formulated, and all the custom fragrance blends that we use in our Wanderlust collection, which is one of our very first collections, and to this day, one that we get the most requests about restocking. You can check out my Patreon down below, and that is all available to you right at the $5 level. Now, I'm going to be going over the entire process though right in this video, and you're going to get a bunch of tips. Now, you just saw there, I used Permatex and I used the clear one. Now, I don't use that for many of my candles, but for these wood wicks, that is still my favorite way to adhere the wick. It's going to give you just a little bit of leeway. So if your wick isn't quite dead center, because for wood wicks, the centering tools that I have used by a number of companies, they don't work very well in my experience. I've just had trouble finding good centering tools for wood wicks. So I do use the Permatex. That gives me a little bit of leeway once I do have it down, just to move that wick a little bit. Now, you can see here, I'm actually using custom fragrance blends for most all of these candles. One thing I do want to mention about this wax blend, there's a lot of soy content and beeswax. And those two ingredients together, they're going to be very particular with fragrances. Now, you can get really strong candles with this wax blend. The difficult challenge is figuring out which fragrance oils are going to work best with it. And that's why I would recommend, if you did want my formulas, to check out my Patreon down below, because I've spent a number of years figuring that out, and the fragrances that I'm using throw exceptionally well. But most fragrances will not, and that is because soy wax is very, very particular. Now, I wouldn't recommend altering the wax blend at all. It works exceptionally well with creating a clean burn with these wood wicks. I would want you to know in advance that most fragrances are going to struggle with hot throw, and that is primarily because the wax blend that I formulated contains around 66% soy and around 19 or so % beeswax. And those proportions of the exact waxes that I'm using work exceptionally well for creating a clean, even burn with these wood wicks, but they will be really particular with which fragrances work. When you find fragrances that work though, you're gonna get a really good throw in my experience. So I think it's worthwhile to play around. Now, as you can see here, most of the fragrances, one of my secrets in the Wanderlust collection is that sandalwood by Candle Science, and I use that to create this kind of continuous undertone in the collection that most all of the scents do have. Not all of them, but most of them. Whenever you're mixing two fragrances, blend them together like you saw me doing there. So if you see any separation, you want to make sure that you stir thoroughly until that separation becomes an even, continuous color. Now for this wax blend, I like to heat the wax to 185. I like to stir my fragrance oil in for 2 minutes, and then I will let the wax cool to around 155 or so, between 150 and 160, and I'll pour at that temperature. Now, I like to get 2 pitchers going. This is just how I streamline my process a little bit, but you definitely don't need to do that, and I wouldn't recommend it if you're brand new. Now, one thing I do want to mention is when you saw how I cut those wood wicks in advance, that's going to substantially help with centering your wood wicks. Because what can happen if you leave them totally long the whole time that you're burning, or the whole time that you are pouring your candles, is the wicks can end up tilting because there is more weight on the top of the wick, and when you pour that wax in, it ends up kind of tilting to the side more from where you put it. And by the way, with Permatex, all you need to do is wait about 3 to 4 hours after you apply the Permatex to pour your wax. In my experience, it fully solidifies after that time period, and I've never had one of these wicks come up. They're gonna stay down better than just about anything. I fill these actually almost above the wick, and that is because as soy wax cools, and by the way, as I mentioned, this blend contains around 60% soy. As that wax cools, it shrinks. And so these wicks are going to become the perfect length once the wax cools. There will be a little bit of touch-up work to do, but very minimal. This wax blend, what I love about it so much, it creates such an even setup and an even burn too. But you can see how these candles, and by the way, you're watching this at 33 times speed. You can see how they set up gradually and evenly. So you're not gonna really get any sinkholes with this if you follow the instructions that I provided with the pour temperature. It sets up just beautifully, and they have this gorgeous opaque finish to the top that to me looks so luxury and so professional. And you're still watching this at 33 times speed. I really wanted you to be able to see the setup of my wax blend. I want to talk a little bit about the challenges that people run into with wood wicks. The biggest challenge that I see is people don't trim their wicks short enough to begin with. So do you see how short these wicks are? They're barely coming up from the candle, about 1/8 of an inch, just enough so that you can see the wick. What I see people doing a lot of is after they don't trim it short enough initially, and then after they burn the candle, those blackened bits from the burned wood, they will try to relight the candle with that on there. Ideally, you trim all of that off before you relight the candle. Now, this wax blend that I formulated has a little bit of leeway, so you don't quite have to do that, and you can still get a clean, even burn. Now, there's a few of these wicks that are still a little bit too long, and what I'll end up doing is trimming those even more. This mica that you can see is another secret. Certain fragrance oils that work with this wax blend, like as in they're in between two wick sizes, because with wood wicks, there's less wick sizes that you have available, and sometimes a fragrance oil can be in between two of them. So what I like to do with those ones is I have 3 different levels of mica that I'll apply. This 2 swipes is what I call regular mica. It's very, very easy to overdo it. So I want to underscore that if you do choose to do this, you need to have a system that works for you. Now with this wax blend, I like to let these cure for about 2 weeks prior to doing any test burns, and that is because beeswax takes a very long time to fully solidify. So curing in the candle world is kind of a myth. You really only need a few days with almost every wax. However, certain waxes like 100% soy and 100% beeswax take a really long time to fully solidify. And what I mean by that is even when they look hard, there's still motion at the molecular level in those particles. And so it takes actually several weeks to get that motion to fully stop. And so if you try to test burn these sooner than that, they're going to behave almost like the candle has been burned and heated a little bit when it hasn't. And that can create problems because when your customer gets that candle, they're gonna most likely get it after your candle's been sitting around for a couple weeks. And it's going to create an issue for them when they actually go ahead and burn that candle. Now, you just saw me apply these labels here. I actually design and print these right from home, and I'll link my video down below for you if you're curious how I do that. I share my full process. Now, if you've enjoyed this video so far, it would mean the world to me if you'd give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And if you guys want more Woodwick content, definitely leave me a comment down below and I can continue making this type of content for you. as well as test out some more waxes with Woodwicks. But disclaimer, I've tested more than a dozen at this point, and my custom blend is the only one that I can pretty consistently get to work in terms of a clean, even burn profile with the tips that you saw me utilize in this video with the mica, and with making sure with any wax that you trim that woodwick all the way so that all the blackened bits are removed as much as possible. Now, these candles are available now on the website. They're finally restocked after about 6 months, and I'm so sorry this took so long. Also, I have a dust cover video that I'll share with you down below, and in Patreon, I actually have a full video where I share how I make dust covers, and I have a custom template for you, several of them as well. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed, and I have a link down below if you did want to check out these candles, but I'm sending all of you peace, love, and light, and I'm wishing all of you happy candle making.